You're on CYInterview.
I'm Chris Shandek. Featured columnist Jay Bilstein is with me today on CYInterview. We welcome quarterback Brett Hundley. From 2012 to 2014, Mr. Hundley was the starting quarterback for the UCLA Bruins. At the professional level in the NFL, he was most recently with the Indianapolis Colts, but has also played for the Green Bay Packers and a few other teams. Mr. Hundley, thanks so much for joining us on CYInterview today. How are you?
Man, thank you guys so much for having me. I'm really good today. It's a beautiful day in Arizona.
Well, thanks so much for being with us. Well, this coming Sunday, you'll be here in Las Vegas with your celebrity friends to take part in the second annual Lace 'em Up for Epilepsy Walk here in Las Vegas at Sunset Park. Can you tell us a little about what's going to be coming up this coming Sunday?
Yeah, so it'll be a really, really awesome event. Last year we hosted it and had thousands of people there. This year, hopefully we have even more. It's a walk for the Hundley Foundation, my foundation that was started, and it's really benefiting epilepsy and so much more. Our foundation is dedicated to improving the lives of children and families in need, but we got our start in epilepsy, and that's really a big part of this foundation. So it's a walk to support, and proceeds will go to supporting causes for epilepsy and other things like that. And it's only 1.5 miles, so it's not too long. It's a good little workout, and it'll be really fun.
It's at 2601 East Sunset Road in Sunset Park. So just to take it back a little bit, why did you and your sister start the Hundley Foundation?
Yeah, when for everybody doesn't know, when I was probably like 8, my sister was 9. She's a year older than me. She was diagnosed with epilepsy, and just going through the things I had to watch her go through as her brother, and even my family, my mom and dad, and her having to quit track, getting on 20-something pills a day. You just see a complete difference. And now she's seizure-free and doing fine as a child. And that was another reason. Her son, Elijah, has infantile spasms as well, which is a form of epilepsy and autism. And but to see her battle and go through all this stuff, and we wanted to create a platform, because when she was growing up and going through everything, we didn't feel the community or being able to share our story, or her story really. And then it wasn't until I actually got to UCLA, and I just made a quick something about it in an article or interview, and then we got reached out by the Epilepsy Foundation of Los Angeles and sort of turned into this, and we Paris finally felt a community of people who were dealing with the same thing she was. And then from there, it went into us working with the National Epilepsy Foundation. And then after that, we wanted to start our own and build our own community for people who, maybe don't feel heard or don't have the community. And we wanted to build our own family for that and for those people. And not only that, but, we wanted to do a lot more. We wanted to give back. We started a fatherhood program with Eisner Health in California for first-time fathers. It's a 12-week program. We have a scholarship for military spouses. It's honored in Rick Harrison's father's name. We've just been doing so much and trying to get back as much as we can, but our base really started with epilepsy, and we're doing a lot with it. It's just we know there's so many more areas of this world that we want to touch, and we've always just, at this point, we're just truly blessed to be able to have that family and that community of people that we, maybe growing up, she didn't have, but now we're able to create that for others.
Jay?
First of all, what an absolutely wonderful story. I do have a question, Brett, as somebody who has a family member, actually a cousin, was diagnosed with epilepsy, and the interesting thing was they were already like at the end of their college years. They were already in their 20s. Yeah. And, and I don't think a lot of people know this. I think a lot of people think, well, epilepsy, you're a little kid, you start having seizures and everyone knows. No. Yep. He was in his early 20s. He had a seizure. He was an athletic, perfectly healthy guy. And the next thing you know, he was diagnosed with epilepsy. He was put on some medication. I think there was also some talk at some point in time in like a no-carbohydrate diet, or in like this purely, this diet that puts you into ketosis. Very tough diet. Could you speak to a little bit of all this?
Yeah, so it's crazy. That's such a great point. But like you said, people, a lot of people, and that's one of the big things is the education of epilepsy. And because a lot of people think it's like, when you're born with it or something like that. And it has nothing to do with that. Like, you can get it when you're 50, you can get it when you're 40, 20s. And it's just something that happens. And, obviously there's connections in the brain that misfire and then the seizures come. But, most people have, one seizure and don't really know, anything about epilepsy, and, they might have it in their sleep or something like that, so they don't realize until when somebody else sees it. And, it can hit whenever and wherever, and, it can be, there's a whole multitude types of seizures. There's grandmas, there's a whole lot of different things that can happen that are still related to having a seizure. And it can happen when you're waking up, when Paris, it was a lot of times for her, it was her when she was waking up out of sleep, or, the lights. And there's such a wide array of reasons and timings of, having a seizure or being diagnosed with epilepsy. So it's one of those things that, it just happens. And then once it happens, it's good. And that's why, having people who are educated in it and know exactly what it is to be able to help those, who are battling through it. But yeah, man, I've seen players that I've played with, have seizures in their sleeps and then be diagnosed. It's stuff like that where, football players, even have it, when they get to the league. And, it's just a really, really crazy thing, because once you get diagnosed with it, you really gotta, you gotta start taking the pills and just making sure you don't have any more. But yeah, man, it's a great point. It's one of those things that you can just come about whenever.
Well, you know what? I think this is one of the truly great stories where we'll be covering this year, because here you are. This is a brother's love manifesting itself and taking action. And you're not talking about it, you're being about it. So our hats are off to you in any way we can help. We absolutely want to.
Man, thank you so much for that. And I really, really appreciate you guys.
Mr. Hundley, still want to play on a professional roster? What's ahead for you?
Man, it's funny. I always think of that getting into, the later end of the career. And I've always said I want to play through 10. And I'm going in year 8. And once I'm 10 and in, I'm out. So I'm going to keep trying until, I get 10. And then once I'm there, man, I think that's my time to step away from the game. After 10 years, man, it's been a blessing. And even after 8, man, I'm so blessed because, average in the league is 2.3 years. So for me to have played going into now year 8, it's crazy and truly amazing. But yeah, man, I still want to play and get out there, and still got a lot of juice left in the tank, and still have some fun.
Have you thought about what you want to do after the gridiron life is over?
Mm-hmm. So, now especially, it's been awesome because I've really been able to think and figure out things I want to do. And, the foundation is one thing I've always wanted to be a part of and get running, and now it's growing really, really fast, and I'm so thankful for that. So I would love to continue that, but also, working in real estate and a lot of stuff I do. Actually, I started out here in Arizona in real estate and even Turo and stuff like that, almost like the new school of the Airbnb is Turo stuff. Have a whole team out here who really built a lot of stuff out here in Arizona. And Arizona, it's a great market right now. But yeah, man, I started transitioning into that, and so that's been growing really, really fast. And thankful because now I can sort of put what I've used in football and the dedication and stuff and what it takes into the business aspect of it, and so building that, and even having other players who feel comfortable enough, because a lot of times players get the money and have no idea what to do with it, and to be able to show them hey, you can build this, you can do this, you can have passive income here, and to show them that there's a way that they can make money outside of just spending it, in football. It's really been a fun thing for me to build out here in Arizona.
Absolutely. So here's the question I have for you.
Chris, I'm sorry. Go ahead, but I don't want to overtalk you. Let me know when you're done. I'll toss in a kind of end question if it's okay with you.
Oh, go ahead. It's fine. Go ahead.
Brett, something that has just been hanging around in my mind. It's not apropos of the wonderful work you're doing or your athletics, but it's been all over the internet this morning. I've already spoken to a few people about it. The slap scene around the world.
Oh my God!
I wonder if you had any opinion on one middle-aged man, Will Smith, getting up and slapping another middle-aged man, Chris Rock, at the Academy Awards.
Oh my gosh, it's funny. Last night we were sitting there. I was sitting there watching a movie, and my cousin was like, "Man, Will Smith just smacked the crap out of Chris Rock."
Oh God.
I was sitting there like, huh? I was like, it never happened. I mean, and then, I everybody goes to Instagram and you see the videos, and they were sort of just starting to surface and stuff like that. So, I mean, when I saw it, I didn't believe it. I thought it was sort of fake. And then when I really started looking into it, and like all the videos started coming out, I was like, holy crap, this is real. And it's Will Smith too, and you're like, nah, this is Will Smith. But it's like one of those hard things because you're like, I understand, his wife Jada and stuff like that, and the anger, especially that had to come from it. But man, that's a hard one right there because you're at the Oscars.
The reason I wanted to ask you specifically is because here you are, you're an NFL quarterback now. Yep. The friends I had in the league I'm quite a bit older than you, so like the guys who I was friendly with in the league go back many, many years. Back in the day, I don't know if it's allowed anymore, if it still goes on, but there'd be plenty of not nice talk going on at the line. Oh, yeah. There'd be, and you just suddenly get up and slap the quarterback in the head willy-nilly, you're getting a flag thrown. So that's what I wanted to ask you because... Look, let's be honest, tempers fly. I was just taken aback. I was just like you. I was like, no, this is a put on. This is a joke, right? Yeah. And I'm like, whoa.
And then it was crazy to me that they, the show just sort of continued. It didn't, stop and, it wasn't and, everybody loves Will and stuff like that, but, it was like nothing happened after. And I was like, what? You know what I'm saying? You let a dude go on stage and slap another man and then just sit back down and continue the show. But, it's one of those things that's, I'm sure the Oscar, right, the people who are, watching the videos and stuff like that and seeing this all happen in real time, they probably had no idea what to do anyways.
It made me think, because we've had on plenty of athletes, made me think that athletes are under much tighter control than a lot of other folks. It seems if you're in Hollywood, you get much greater latitude than if you're on the gridiron. I think that gets someone kicked out of the game, no?
Oh, shoot, if you go and slap a quarterback in the face, that is, one, there's probably going to be a big fight. Two, you're ejected right away. The team is probably going to kick you off the team at that point. You don't do that. And that's what's crazy. It was in the middle of everybody. It wasn't even took it back. Yeah, and also it's Will Smith, who's a good guy. Right? It's Will Smith. It's not some lunatic. This is Will Smith we're talking about, a good guy. That's what's killing me. I'm like, man, this is Will Smith and Chris Rock. You know what I'm saying? These are the two guys that I grew up watching and stuff like that. And I'm just sitting there like, how? And that's why you never. And obviously it was. I forgot who made the point, but it was I could understand the last, the straw that broke the camel's back. And, I know Will Smith and Jada have probably been dealing with that and, it's probably a lot of pent up aggression, but then that last straw, so it's so hard because that, man, I'm telling you that when I really started watching, I was like, holy crap.
I'm going to bring it full circle. I think we're in tense times, and I think we need more folks like you who are doing what you're doing with the impulse from your sister and making a difference. And we've had COVID, there's the war that's going on in Europe and Ukraine and all that. There's tensions at home. I think people should follow your lead and find a cause that's going to help folks, because nobody's asking for epilepsy. It's not a choice. It's not something they did in their lifestyle. And I think Brett, you're putting forward a tremendous example to folks of, hey, let's take that aggression, let's take that anger, let's take that frustration, let's take that disappointment and point it in a positive direction and get out there and score some touchdowns for people who need the help.
Yes, and I appreciate that. That is so. I'm right there on board with you, man. I think that would be perfect.
This coming Sunday, Mr. Hundley and his celebrity friends will take part in the second annual Lace 'em Up for Epilepsy Walk here at Sunset Park. In closing, I'd like to ask you one question. As someone who, played with Aaron Rodgers, still playing in the league, Tom Brady's still playing in the league, What do you think it is? Every year we talk about these guys retiring. They don't retire. They keep playing. These guys from a certain era. What do you think it is about these guys that just keep going? Like,
man, it's funny because I think of that, and I was saying earlier, like after 10, I'm out. But I think it's crazy because the football takes up so much time and energy, and it's something that it's a love for all of us, I'm sure, who have made it this far. But especially for the guys like, Tom Brady literally has been playing damn near as long as I've been alive. And like to think of that is like crazy. And it's just one of those things that like some guys are able to play like Tom and Aaron, and even Russ, who wants to play probably until their 40s, and I'm sure if they could play until they're 50. But it's like one of those things. I'm just like, man, that's a lot, man. I mean, football is such a, we're so blessed to be able to play this sport and to be able to do it. It just takes up so much time, even away from your family, your kids, and that, that's one of the big things. Well, I think, to me, it's like you get in, you get what you need, and you get out and, enjoy your life. But to be able to play 20, 25 years, I mean, first off, it's a credit to them. But second, it's just amazing that they're able to do that.
Oh, absolutely. No denying that. Jay, anything in closing?
Yeah, I was just thinking as you were saying that, Brett, I'm thinking of somebody like Joe Montana and some other guys who are in the league, or Chris, who's the fellow from Chicago we talked about who was quarterback in the Bears back in '85?
Gosh dang it. Hold on, I know what you're talking about.
He was there with William Refrigerator Perry and Jim. I can't think of his name.
Jim McMahon.
Jim McMahon.
Jim McMahon.
Thank you.
Yeah. Excellent. So the thing is, I think the guys who, I don't want to say overstayed their welcome, but kind of took a lot of hits over time. And I think when you come forward, you're a smart guy. You got a good brain. You're doing good things. I think a plan like 10 and out, when you consider, hopefully you have 60, 70 more years on this earth. That's a good plan. That's a good plan. That's a man who's thinking.
Yes, and it's like it's just one of those things. I've always said, if I can't get out of football in 10 years what I've needed to get out of it, then there's, to me, for myself, and this is me personally, there's an attachment there that is deeper than just, it's not a healthy attachment, I feel like, at that point. And it's, it's different for everybody else, but for me, I always said it, once I played 10 years, if I haven't got out what I needed to in 10 years, there's something, and maybe it might be my identity attached to football or something in an unhealthy way, but like, I always try to think that this football, it ends. And just like you said, I want to be able to make sure I'm there when I have a family, kids, when I'm 70, 80, and still able to, run around and do stuff with them. I just, you get in, you get what you can, and you get out, to me.
Yeah, well said. Very smart. Very smart.
So for quarterback Brett Hundley, featured columnist Jay Bilstein, and CYInterview, I'm Chris Shinnick.